Now, whilst Pininfarina may be famous for designing some exotic supercars, it's also known for creating some cars that every petrolhead can afford. Here's your guide to owning a design classic. I've lined up a stylish Italian coupe, a powerful limousine, and an athletic French hot hatch. They're all bona fide Pininfarina designs that have emerged from the same set of Italian pens and pencils that have made some of the world's most collectible cars. But they're all available to buy second-hand today for a fraction of the cost when new. We'll start with the Frenchman. This is the Peugeot 306 GTI 6. It was made between 1996 and 2001, and it's revered as one of the best handling hot hatches of the 1990s. Brand new, it cost £17,000, but today you can pick up a good one from as little as £2,000. Even though this car is 12 years old and has got just over 100,000 miles on the clock, it still behaves like the perfect hot hatch it once was. It'll dart into corners and it'll whip out of them like a racing car. It is so much fun. Before you part with your cash, though, there are some important things you should look out for. The cam belt is particularly prone to snapping, which will lead to a damaged head and 16 bent valves. Peugeot experts say that the belt should be changed every 3 years and 30,000 miles on this particular model, so you are likely to come across a tired one when you're shopping around. The best way to check is to look at the service history and ask to see receipts. Try to find a record of when the job was last done, then turn your attention to the interior. Things to look out for in the cabin that are notorious for wearing out quickly are the seats, the electric windows, and the air conditioning system, so check that it blows nice and cold. If it doesn't, look for a damaged aircon pipe behind the radiator. A replacement can cost £300. But generally, thanks to a galvanised body, the GTI 6 is a strong car and can be bought with confidence. My next affordable Pininfarina design is the Alfa Romeo GTV. Brand new, they cost up to £28,000. Today, a good one can be had for less than £3,000. You can choose from a thirsty V6 that does 150 miles an hour or a 4-cylinder 2-litre engine that'll do 140 and average 30 mpg, like this one. The 16-valve twin-spark engine has a real creamy purr that you can not only hear but also feel because it throbs through the throttle all the way through to your right foot. GTVs are tipped as a future classic, so find a good one and you'll have a potential investment on your hands. Choose wisely though, you don't want to wind up with a duffer. First, check the area where the glass meets the boot lid, as this is a notorious place for corrosion to hide. Then check for rust around the wheel arches. Hop inside and fire it up. If it sounds like a diesel, then there's likely a problem with the inlet cam variator, and that could cost £400 to replace. This one sounds fine though. These 2-litre twin-spark engines are great, but need properly looking after. They use more oil than normal engines, and if neglected, have a tendency to flood their engines with oil. A full service history is a must. And on pre-1998 models like this one, make sure you get a full set of keys, and that includes a master key and an ignition key. Alfa says it'll need to replace the locks, immobiliser and even ECU if you need a new ignition key and don't have the master. That'll cost £1,000. However, we've discovered that independent specialists can simply copy the ignition key for just £50. My final Pininfarina recommendation is pricier than the other two, but in my book is worth every penny. The Maserati Quattroporte gives you a lot of bang for your buck. It is a luxurious super saloon. It's got expensive equipment that includes an adaptive ride, but perhaps best of all, it's got a Ferrari-designed V8 engine with 400 brake horsepower. This car is no slouch. It was made in 2004 and weighs almost 2 tons, but Near perfect weight distribution means that it will tackle the twists with gusto. Now available for less than the price of a new Ford Mondeo, this car was over £70,000 when new. And the best part is, because the design has stayed the same since day one, the car never looks out of date. But be warned, repair work on a Quattroporte will never be cheap. A new clutch could set you back £2,500. So to check it, just pull away from a standing start, nothing too vigorous. And if there are any unusual jolts, then it means the clutch is coming to the end of its life, so you better get your checkbook out. Next, have a look underneath. Ideally, get it onto a ramp and have a look for the air conditioning pump here. If there is any liquid leaking, you could be seeing yourself clear of 1,300 quid. And finally, check how much tread is left on the tyres, because a new set will cost you in excess of £800. Then have a glance over the brakes, because pads and discs can cost a further £2,000. If you're serious about owning a Quattroporte, the best advice is to get a specialist to look at the car before you buy. That will cost around £300, but they'll be able to tell you a lot more than you could ever find out yourself. So there you have it, 3 affordable classics from a design house that continues to make some of the most beautiful cars on the planet.